BUV stands for Basic Utility Vehicle, kind of a play on Sport Utility Vehicle, or SUV. Our mission is to create rural transportation solutions to relieve daily burdens and enable economic development in Africa and beyond. The infrastructure, especially in Africa, is so poor. You need a vehicle that is very tough and that can deal with a lot of overloading, but still overcome the obstacles and the gullies and the ditches and the rainy season.
These are the little side roads of Katesh. They're not very wide, but they go throughout where most people live.
Washout is a huge problem. There are huge gullies that form. Roads often might be graded once a year or once every 2 or 3 years, whereas a dirt road in the States might be graded, many times a year. There's no care of the roads at all. And a lot of the roads are actually handmade roads, and so they don't hold up over time very well. So it's kind of a unique niche that we try to fill to help the rural folks be able to get their crops to market or their sick to medical clinics. The BUV is a diesel-powered vehicle, and it has a whole lot of torque. One of the things that sets it apart from typical utility vehicles is we utilize truck parts, so truck leaf springs, truck axle, truck drive shaft, truck brakes, truck wheels and tires. People really do like the finger throttle, because they can buy that anywhere in the world, replace it if it gets broken, but it gives you a lot better control. We wanted to use the truck parts because we wanted it to be heavy duty. And whereas the utility vehicles often use either motorcycle parts or they use utility vehicle parts, which are definitely lighter duty than what you see in the automotive sector. Carries about 1,800 pounds, which is considerably more than what it weighs. It weighs 1,250 pounds. Various aspects of the vehicle are over-designed. And we want that because we want the chassis, the vehicle, to last a very long time. You might go through 2, 3 different engines during the lifetime, but unlike changing the engine on a car, changing the engine on a BUV can be a 30-minute exercise. It's just 4 bolts that hold that in. The past decade, we've been forward only. We actually did not have reverse. We had a very tight turning radius that we could pivot, but we didn't have a reverse. This is a key part in the development of the BUV. Now we have a transmission with a reverse, and we want to make sure that thing is bulletproof before sending it to the field. We do testing in Tanzania, but we also do testing here. We have a lot of throwing it into reverse, back and forth. We have a lot of overload situations. We're constantly adding weight. Right now we're at 1,600 pounds, and we'll take that on up to 2,000 pounds. Some of the tests are like going off a drop. Well, in a drop, and you're accelerating, for a moment you're accelerating the tires, and when all that weight hits the ground, you send an impulse spike back up through the drivetrain, and that ultimately gets to the transmission, and it's got to be able to handle that. We have been very well pleased with how this little transmission's doing. We are very close to pulling the trigger on our first 100-unit order of these transmissions. I think one way to talk about the ripple effect is, a given vehicle, we want it to last at least 10 years. And if you think about all the people that driver serves over that 10-year vehicle, we like to think that a vehicle touches at least 1,000 lives probably many more than that. Of course, there's the driver and his family. His life betters in many different ways. But a lot of times there might be two shifts of driver, and each driver has a handler, someone who's loading the goods on and unloading the goods off. And then there's the ancillary jobs, like the people repairing the BUVs. And I think the ripple effect it can be for each BUV factory job, maybe there's 5, 6 jobs created out in the village area or in the surrounding communities. It's just a way of building the economy from a grassroots level.
The best thing they're doing, like what I say, is because they're helping really poor people to move from the very bad side for the economy, to have something to feed the family,
right, to be able to
build the house, build the church, and they help each other also using the BUV.
For the community at large, they're able to get their crops to market. They're doing a construction project, get sand or cement or water to the job site for building a house or school or church. And then of course, medical and health situations of getting people to medical treatment, which is usually to a rural health clinic. Definitely our early adopters were mission organizations, and over time we've had more and more local entrepreneurs buy them. When they buy them through a financed program where they put so much money down and then pay for it over time as they're generating income from using the vehicle. And so I'm excited about both customers, but I really like the idea of providing the jobs to the local drivers and then seeing how their lives change as a result of that.
This is now a success story because many people are coming to Joseph, ask for transport, and he's been able to work every day from 6 through to 6 in the evening. He's been able to do some work.
Sometimes these vehicles go to a village that has no motorized vehicle at all, and the whole village comes running out to see the vehicle. Much excitement. We have had drivers during the harvest season bring in a total of $1,000 per month, which is huge money in rural Africa. The BUV ministry is really about helping people help themselves, and in doing that we want to give glory to the Lord. We want them to be able to get their crops to market and better their lives, and our motivation is, trying to serve others and love others through this simple vehicle.
It is unique in its kind, and many people have been asking where it has come from. We tell them this is a provision from God, because we are sure this is a provision from God has provided for this for the first time in the village. And now we can have our items moved from one place to another at a very affordable rate. At the same time, it is offering employment to a driver and co-driver who is using it. At the end of the day, they'll be able to work some money, and at the end of the month, they'll be able to get something to go to take their families.
We're a not-for-profit, but we enable others to be profitable. So like our partner in Tanzania is a for-profit entity, and our aim is to help manufacturers in every single country in Africa to help them get started and produce a vehicle for that country. So local production and local jobs. Tanzanians are very proud of what they do, and there's also a confidence in able to keep that vehicle running and fix it and repair it. We want to see that in every country. I think one thing that's unique about this ministry is that we're not focused on handouts. We want to give people a tool to enable them to better their life and bless their family and bless their community. This is about building economies and giving people livelihood, and that's what excites us and I feel like God's gifted me in certain ways, and I'm getting to use my gifts to serve people.
I want to thank you for the work you do with BUV. It's a blessing. All right, you're doing a good job.
Everything we do is about providing hope so that the poor and isolated can live better lives. We do this by creating farm-to-market vehicles that are durable, simple, and profitable to operate.